My brothers, time has come, we must defend the North. That just did not work. I mean, I had this Halloween costume of, cloak, trying to be Jon Snow, Kit Harington, but I ended up sounding more like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway, let's all just forget that happened, and me trying to be funny just did not work. But yeah, I got this cloak. My girlfriend found it back around October for Halloween, so I've been waiting since then to wear this. Okay, just to do this premiere video, so cut me some slack at least. But anyway, it's way too hot to actually wear this throughout the whole video. But anyway, got my Game of Thrones shirt on anyway. But yeah, so what's up, you guys? How's it going? Here to review the Season 7 premiere episode of Game of Thrones on HBO, which was called Dragonstone. Both this and The Strain were on tonight. Very eager about The Strain as well, but at least for the premiere I had to check out Game of Thrones first. Just an all-around brilliant series. I'm very, very eager to see how these last two seasons, wrap things up. My body was actually tense before the episode started. Within the last few minutes before it was going to begin, it was weird. But anyway, it is Game of Thrones, so I guess it shouldn't be that surprising. But yeah, so overall, this was a pretty good episode. Pretty good start to the season. It wasn't like a huge, massive opening or anything like that. And I'm sure there's going to be, fans that are, a bit pissed that they didn't get a big action scene right out of the gate or something. They're going to say, oh yeah, it's only 7 episodes, so why the hell was this so boring or something, God. I just know there's going to be people like that. Yeah, there's surely bigger things to come this season, but I nonetheless thought this was a pretty good opening for it, I was just glad to be re-immersed into this world again, I was considering watching, the Battle of the Bastards and the Winds of Winter, the final 2 episodes of Season 6 over again. But I just kind of wanted this episode to, bring me back into it, and it did. Just a great-looking world. And I'm really, I am ready to, we'll just see later this season. But yeah, so, since I did the terrible Jon Snow impression at the beginning of the video, let's talk about him first. Him and Sansa are trying to manage the North, trying to organize the defense and everything like that. And they actually come to a disagreement over what to do with the families who either fought against them or didn't really align with them at all, or just in general. Sansa believes they should be, taken out of their the castles they do have, the homes they do have, and punished for it. But Jon doesn't believe so because the oldest members of the families had already paid, so he didn't believe that the sons and daughters or the children of them should be punished for it. And he believes that they all need to unite against the oncoming threat from the White Walkers and such, even though circumstances kind of call for what Sansa would propose. But Jon's still kind of seeming like that, trying to go with the bigger picture here, as well as probably mustering up a little bit more compassion than Sansa is. And it was an interesting debate there, but I'm definitely going to side with Jon on that one. I don't think now is the time to be going about punishing those people within the North. You do need to focus on the big picture, the main goal in front of you, especially when it's going to be concerning every single one of them. But Sansa, she meanwhile seems to be a little bit jealous or a little bit envious or maybe a little bit frustrated that she doesn't seem to be held as equally as Jon, even though Jon lets her speak when she talks, but Jon wants to make sure that he's king. It's not just arrogant like that either, though, but he knows he can't be undermined in front of the people either. They need to have a specific leader and everything like that. But I did think Sansa was a little bit wrong in this regard, and Baelish is giving her these looks like she needs to backstab her brother pretty much. I'm sure that's going to come into play as the season goes along, but I really hope Sansa doesn't actually try anything like that. I put her within my top 6-7 characters in my video earlier today, but if she does that, she's going to drop, trust me. But I don't think she will, and as she talks to Brienne, she seems to be fully aware of what Littlefinger wants her to do. or what he wants. Is what his main goal is. But still, nonetheless, it was fairly interesting. We also do get a little bit of a visual, a little bit of a teaser with the White Walkers. We see them still marching through the cold. We see that they actually have turned dead giants in their army as well. That's gonna be insane when that final climax hits the final season, man. So that was good. Then we have Cersei and Jaime. Cersei's having this new map painted. Excuse me. And then they talk about all their foes, all their enemies, and south, west, east, north, everything like that. You talk about Ned Stark's bastard to the north, and of course Daenerys coming over the sea. Jaime's kind of pressing her where are their allies, and they kind of go back and forth a little bit. Then of course we see Euron Greyjoy show up, and and his proposal is to get married to Cersei, this beautiful woman in all the lands or whatever, and give her his fleet. But Cersei, of course, is aware of his history of treachery and betrayal of those he gets close to. But Euron's going to go and try and get some grand gesture to show how serious he is about it. But I sort of like how Cersei really turned him away after he sort of insulted Jaime in a way, saying he has two good hands. So that was a bit of a low blow. I think Euron is kind of stupid to say something like that. Because Cersei's going to try and build up herself and what she has as much as she can right now, however she can. But she still very much cares about Jaime. So when you kind of jab at him like that, it gets under her skin too, I think. So I think that's partly why she turned him away right there. But also, she is fully aware of the kind of person she is, as she said. And it was also interesting how Sansa was talking about Cersei before that, saying how she's found a way to murder every enemy she's had, and Jon said it's almost like you admire her, and Sansa said she had learned a lot of things from watching Cersei and being around her. So it's gonna be an interesting confrontation, but for sure. And Jon meanwhile got that note from the Raven, saying that from Cersei saying that either go to King's Landing and kneel before thee, basically, or suffer. So we already got that set up there. We had Arya. She meets up with this group, and she jokes about going how she's on her way to murder the queen and everything like that, which is kind of nice. At first, I thought she was coming across the Brotherhood, but because I'm kind of eager for her and the Hound to cross paths again. But that wasn't the case there. But still fine, good seeing her, and I love that opening of her laying waste to the rest of Walder Frey's people. It's good to see David Bradley briefly again, even though it was Arya wearing him as a disguise. And of course she poisons all of them. And the Hound scenes I actually found to be the most interesting this episode. He comes across what was left of the family, who he had, I believe it was something he had taken a little bit of change from, before, a few seasons ago. I think it was season 3 or season 4. He sees that they were laying there dead, probably starved and everything like that. You can see it's actually some weight he's been carrying with himself. He buries them. And then one of the Brotherhood tells him to look into the fire. Hound's not really buying into the light shit. But he looks into it, and apparently he actually sees the dead, of course the White Walkers and everything, marching. And he sees the wall and everything. So now the Hound's actually aware there is some kind of force out there, apparently. And maybe the Hound's supposed to play a key part in trying to defend it, I don't know. I am really wondering what's going to happen with the Hound this season. The Hound's one of my 3 favorite characters. My 3 favorite characters, by the way, are Tyrion, Jon, and the Hound. I'm hoping he makes it through the season because I like him to be there for the final climax of the series. But now I'm kind of worried that they're going to go to the wall, which will be cool to see him with Jon and everyone. But I'm worried that he's going to be that first line of defense, and it's going to be a really brutal and huge battle, but then the Hound goes down. I don't know if I want that to happen. I want him and Arya to reunite. I still think Arya will probably meet up with Jon and everything, so maybe that will still happen, but don't kill the Hound. Nonetheless, I thought it was kind of a good, couple of character scenes for the Hound here. I'm glad he's back. I'm glad they're spending this time with him anyway. Also Sam. he's still trying to become a Meister. He's trying to get access to these special area of books. They're not letting him, despite him declaring his intentions. Though it appears the Archmeister does believe him, about his word, but still kind of a process there. But he does manage to get to the books, and or at least Giddy finds one, or Gilly, I should say. Sorry, I butchered her name. But then he discovers that at Dragonstone, where Daenerys has just landed, that there is dragon glass beneath the surface, apparently, or something along those lines, and he's going to be trying to send word to Jon about that. So that's that's a pretty big, important discovery there. I'm sure it's going to come in handy once Jon and Daenerys align together at some point, I'm sure. So yeah. That was we also seen Jorah, it seems, briefly briefly being held with the Meisters and everything. We see he has a lot more grayscale on his arm, but apparently he's still somewhat there. He's not fully like animalistic yet or anything like that, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, overall this is a really good episode. Not like mind-blowing, but just a fine setup for this second to last season, and it did successfully re-immerse me back into the world without watching anything beforehand. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. If I had to rate it, I'd rate it about like a 9.2, 9.3 out of 10. Maybe even 9.4, just because I'm so excited to watch more Game of Thrones, but really probably about 9.2, 9.3. Let me know what you guys thought about this one, or your predictions for Season 7 and onward. And Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.